The refuge is an asset to our community. It's a location on the map. It's a big location on the map. But it's also a place for wildlife and for people. It's a place for learning, and it's a place for new experiences. Along with many others, the refuge will now be an important geographic hub for the GOCO Inspire initiative. The refuge is surrounded by 2.6 million residents, but closer to home, we're surrounded by several important neighbors. Our neighbors in Commerce City, Denver, and Aurora see the refuge every day. Our neighbors are our biggest advocates, and with the help of GOCO, we are working together to increase access to our neighbors. There are over 141,000 school-aged children that live around the refuge. Unfortunately, too few children are provided the opportunity to experience nature. Many parents have complex issues at home, and they encounter all sorts of barriers in finding a place to take their kids to experience the outdoors. For that reason, I want to thank Great Outdoors Colorado for their vision for the Inspire initiative. I personally want to thank the GOCO Board of Directors, Jim Spanstra, Jackie Miller, and Erica Meyer for their hard work on making it possible for us to inspire all Coloradans, particularly our children, to appreciate, enjoy, and take care of the great outdoors. Today, we are all taking a huge step forward. Propelled by strong partnerships, we will work together and we will tackle the challenge of getting our kids outdoors. Places like this, places big, places small, places close to home and places far away, are all vital to this task. Our trusted partners here in the room today, you will provide the programs and the pathways that are necessary to make this GOCO Inspire initiative a reality for our Colorado children. Today, together, we are building tomorrow's conservation leaders. So now, I would like to introduce Jackie Miller, the Director of Youth Initiatives for Great Outdoors Colorado.
I want to say thank you again to David and to the Refuge for hosting our celebratory event today. As David mentioned, I'm Jackie Miller, Director of Youth Initiatives at Great Outdoors Colorado, and on behalf of the GOCO Board, I want to express how excited we are to be here today with all of you, our partners in propelling the youth and outdoors movement here in Colorado. I particularly want to take a minute to thank some people for being here. Director of the Colorado Lottery, Laura Solano, is on her way. I know she's not here just yet, but without Colorado Lottery revenue, none of this would be possible. I want to thank Paul Lopez, Denver City Council District 3, for being here today, taking time out, as well as Stacy Gilmore, Denver City Council District 11. Thank you, Stacy. We have Mayor Roger Stagner from the City of Lamar. Mayor Stagner, thank you. As well as Mayor Pro Tem from Commerce City, Renee Bullock. Thank you, Renee. And anyone I missed? Not yet. Great. So hours ago, the GOCO board announced $13.5 million in grant funding to support 6 unique Colorado coalitions in their efforts to get more kids and their families out the door and enjoying all that Colorado has to offer. This funding will reach nearly 42,000 youth and their families. It will invest in more than 330 youth jobs across the state and leverage the work of more than 60 partners on the ground. As we all know in this room, a tremendous amount of work went into getting us to where we are today. And we are so excited to be here today to honor our pilot coalitions for their commitment, tenacity, and vision to tackle local barriers to the outdoors with community-identified solutions. To kick us off today, I'd like to introduce Luis Benitez, the first state director for the Office of the Outdoor Recreation Industry. In addition to summiting the 7 summits, including his first summit of Everest with blind athlete Eric Weinmeier, Luis is a champion for the youth outdoors movement here in Colorado and across the nation. So without further ado, Luis.
I just want to share a little bit of national news, and I'll tie into why this is important today. As about 90 minutes ago, President Obama signed into law the REC Act, which will now go towards counting all outdoor industry jobs and revenue towards the GDP. So after a study that we're saying will probably last about a year and a half, everything that we do from a fiscal perspective will now be counted towards our economy. Now that's the dollars and cents of this thing. Yes, indeed, that's big. Thank you, President Obama. That's the dollars and cents. Now let's talk about the why. You know, when I reflect back on being a 15-year-old kid on my Outward Bound course here in Colorado, and I think of, in retrospect, that angry, confused, overly energetic young man that I was, I often wonder what I would have been without that experience in the South San Juans. I often think about without those unique opportunities to step outside of my comfort zone, to understand how to better connect to community, to culture, to place, and to possibilities, what would my life be like? You know, people often ask me, you know, who the heck are you and how the heck did you get this job? And I would say 9 times out of 10, I reflect back on my time with that youth program within Outward Bound. And I think about the tenets that that program gave me. And I think about all of the good that GOCO does for all of the communities that they inspire to try to connect and serve over the years that they've been around and the years of effort that they put forward. Now, obviously, this takes partnerships. GOCO doesn't show up and just say, here's a magical bucket of money, go have fun. That connection through the applications, through putting your heart and soul forward into describing the potential of what's possible, that's truly what makes this program unique. So why is the REC Act so important? As I interact with colleagues around the country that do similar work, the first thing that they mention 9 times out of 10 is GOCO. How can you possibly do all that you do with millions of dollars in your state? Look at the good that you're capable of providing to the youth of your state. So what I would ask all of you to do is recognize that this announcement and these awards, consider this just the beginning. Don't let this be a bow or a celebration on the end of what's possible. My greatest hope is that someday, some youth that's a part of one of these programs will be my replacement, Jackie's replacement, Jim's replacement, and we'll be able to truly look back on this connected web of possibility and potential and ultimately point to the benefit that GOCO has created for our entire state for hopefully years to come. So congratulations again, and thank you for being here.
We are definitely a connected web of possibility and potential. Thank you. Great, so I am now happy to introduce Brian Ravelas. He is a Youth Advisory Council member from the Get Outdoors Leadville Coalition. Brian has worked with his coalition for the past year and youth in his community to identify their barriers to the outdoors and work with them to come up with creative solutions to overcome those barriers. So, Brian?
So, hi, my name is Brian Ravelas, and I'm a youth researcher from Get Outdoors Leadville. But before we begin, I'd like to thank GOCO for inviting us to be a pilot community. It's been a wonderful experience getting to interact with all the other pilot communities that we have around the state. It's truly been a great honor and great privilege to be here. This is a memory that I'm going to cherish forever. So, as I said, I'm a youth researcher from Get Outdoors Leadville. I first heard of the opportunity to be a youth researcher my sophomore year in high school. I thought this was great. Before this, I'd been working on trying to get a safe youth hangout within my community. When I heard about this, connecting youth to the outdoors and providing safe areas, I was like, hey, 2 birds with 1 stone. So after I applied, I found out that I was accepted, and I was super excited. And once we got started, 5 other youth and I were super excited to start working around our community. We conducted lots of different research, from story mapping to interviews, and we found many things out from our community. One of the biggest things that we found out was that there was a lack of transportation. We were so far away. Some communities were so far away from the outdoor play spaces. The outlying trailer parks are 2 to 5 miles away from town, where most of the places are based. Everyone that we interviewed wanted to see a change in our community. They wanted to see something great happen, where both youth and families can be connected and interact with each other. Our community worked towards one goal, and it was to break down barriers that everybody had. We broke this down because we had support from all of our community, from the businesses, organizations, governments, the community, youth, adults, Spanish-speaking, English-speaking. It was such a great thing. Everybody was connected and everybody was together. See, I started with this because of my parents. My parents grew up in the outdoors. They would go biking or walking around where they lived. When we came here to Colorado, they wanted to give me that same experience that we had. From an early age, I learned how to ski and mountain bike. I'm currently a mountain bike racer and an alpine ski racer, and I'd like to see so many more Latino kids out there doing this. I'm thankful for my parents to connecting me to this. Some of us take where we live for granted. There are those who forget that some have barriers that impede them from going forward and going outdoors. With all the research that our community has done, we've now broken down so many barriers and created so many pathways for people to go out and enjoy the outdoors. I hope that with what we've done, other youth and families can share experiences and memories in the outdoors with each other. Youth can now find their passions in nature, just like I did. We had a goal and we worked towards it. When we put our minds to it, we can achieve something great. We've now impacted the lives of thousands of families in our community, youth, adults, Spanish-speaking, English-speaking, and we've created so many bridges between each other. Youth will now be able to be more active in our community and be involved with what we do. At our high school, one of the planned programs is to have a bilingual outdoor education class along with a wilderness experience class. This is going to connect so many youth to experience that they've never had. And we also have a proposed hub that we want. Here, youth are going to be able to have internships where they're going to learn how to tune bikes, to wax skis. They're going to learn so many things, and they're going to transmit it to their families and friends, and everybody's going to be involved. So many of the youth in the community have been asking for this, and with this, we finally achieved it. So I'm a Latino kid. I mountain bike, I alpine race ski, and I don't want to be the only one doing this. I want to see so many other kids out there. I don't care what your race is, what language you speak. Everybody should have this opportunity just like I did. I got these opportunities because of my family, where I live, and what was around me. Connecting to the outdoors has made me who I am today and makes me feel free and alive. I want everybody to have a connection to the outdoors. What we are doing here is something great that will impact many, and we're just scratching the surface of it. The city saw me grow, but nature saw me live, and I want others to share this experience.
So Brian represents more than 70 youth who have been working with pilot coalitions over the last year to identify barriers to the outdoors. What's interesting here is that even in those communities where the outdoors are often literally just outside the door, there are still significant barriers keeping kids from experiencing much of what Colorado has to offer. We hope to inspire changes to help kids learn to love the outdoors no matter where they live. So today's $13.5 million in grant awards is the culmination of more than 2 years of work in developing GOCO's Inspire initiative. Inspire is a 5-year, $25 million initiative that aims to tackle the challenge of getting Colorado's kids and families outside through investments in places to play, programs that engage, and pathway opportunities that empower and motivate. GOCO's $25 million marks the largest investment towards this work in the state, and we are piloting a model that is unique in the nation. GOCO has long been hearing about the statewide concern that Colorado's kids and families are spending less and less time outdoors. And those concerns are warranted. We've all heard the statistic that youth today spend less than 10 minutes outside in unstructured play. And I know all of us in this room know that that needs to change for Colorado's kids and the country's kids, and that we have the opportunity to do that. GOCO has been working since 2010 to help address the challenge through investments in our schoolyard initiative, in the Colorado Youth Corps Association, and in Colorado Parks and Wildlife schools and outdoor learning environments. But we've always known that there's more work that we could do. In 2014, along our statewide listening tour in association with our 2015 strategic plan, the public and our partners expressed deliberately that they wanted GOCO to be a leader and a convener in helping to address and change the statistics for Colorado's youth. And the Inspire initiative at that point began to take shape. We knew several things going into the development of the initiative. We knew that moving the needle on youth connections to the outdoors was going to take a bold and an innovative approach. We knew that there wasn't going to be a one-size-fits-all approach that would service all of our diverse communities across the state. We knew that there was very successful program providers on the ground already working independently and in partnership to help tackle this issue, but with an incentive, a financial incentive to help fuel the work and incentivize collaboration, those partners could increase the impact of the work that they were doing. We also know that GOCO, piloting and pioneering this movement with our partners, would have to stand on the front lines of this with all of you to, again, help change that narrative for Colorado's youth. Taking what we knew, and in the absence of an existing model here in Colorado or across the country, we relied on expert advice and research to help inform the structure of the Inspire initiative. Using the research and a lengthy discovery process as a guide, and knowing that communities across Colorado have divergent resources, challenges, and opportunities, we built a flexible framework and invited coalitions to respond in a way that was authentic to all of you. In June of last year, we released an RFP from communities interested in working collaboratively to address local barriers to connecting youth to the outdoors. And at that time, we invested $1.5 million to get you all planning on the ground. And this includes the 6 pilot coalitions, but in total, 21 coalitions in total. The intent of investing in planning first was to ensure that local coalitions could solidify, could empower a grassroots movement from the ground up, and really empower the youth and community to be the leaders in this movement and identify local barriers in their communities. Of those 21 coalitions, 6 pilots signed up to lead the way. The 6 pilot coalitions have worked diligently over the last year with youth in the driver's seat to identify a vision for connecting their communities to the outdoors. While there may have been some bumps and bruises along the way, tremendous progress has been made, and we are here to congratulate all of you on that hard work. We are so delighted today to now announce the following grants totaling $13.5 million for those 6 coalitions to begin to inspire the next generation of Coloradans to be outdoor leaders and outdoor lovers. So we ask that when we call your coalition name, if you can stand up or recognize yourself in some way, that would be wonderful. So in no particular order, we'd like the Go Wild Northeast Metro Coalition to honor them first. If you could stand up. The Go Wild Northeast Metro Coalition will receive $2.7 million to serve youth from Southeast Commerce City, Northwest Aurora, and Denver's North Park Hill and Montbello neighborhoods. Our venue today, the Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge, is practically in the backyard of all of these communities. Go Wild will invest GOCO funding in close-to-home places to play and learn, including the Environmental Learning for Kids, or as we all know it, ELK, education center that will be built in the heart of the Montbello neighborhood and will offer year-round intensive outdoor programs for youth and families from these neighborhoods and beyond. The coalition will provide outdoor education and recreation programming through the Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Denver, Bluff Lake Nature Center, ELK, the Urban Farm, and Sand Creek Regional Greenway, cities of Commerce City and Aurora, to bring outdoor places to life for youth and help them feel at home in the outdoors. This grant will enable the coalition to create pathways to careers in the outdoors and empower youth through leadership building opportunities through Mile High Youth Corps, Groundwork Denver, ELK, and many others. Congratulations to the Go Wild Northeast Metro Coalition. Get Outdoors Leadville will receive a $3 million grant. They brought together more than 70 agency and community members, 6 youth researchers, 6 Latino promotoras to create a vision for getting kids outside anchored by 4 values: safety, fun, stewardship, and community. Get Outdoors Leadville, or GOAL as they call it, will invest just over a third of the $3 million GOCO grant in developing places for kids to access the outdoors right in their own backyards. This money will help to break down physical barriers by building an outdoor education facility in addition to establishing a gear library, overcome cultural barriers by installing new bilingual signage, and overcome social barriers by building new close-to-home parks, among other projects. Much of the GOCO grant will focus on expanding and enhancing outdoor programs for youth that ultimately provide pathways to careers in outdoor recreation or natural resources, which are becoming an increasing economic power in Colorado, as Luis had mentioned. Many programs will radiate out of the Lake County School District, leveraging expertise from local program providers to enrich learning and build culture through shared experiences in nature. Congratulations to Get Outdoors Leadville. Inspire Lamar will receive a $1.3 million grant. This coalition's Youth Advisory Council members worked hard to conduct community interviews to understand local barriers to the outdoors. Through pilot adventures and the power of photo voice, youth identified places in their community they'd like to improve and programs that would help ignite a passion for the outdoors. Inspire Lamar will invest grant funding to transform North Gateway Park and Willow Creek Park into places for youth and families to enjoy. These places are accessible from the recently GOCO-funded Lamar Loop Trail, a 7-mile loop trail that will go around the city of Lamar. Additionally, Inspire Lamar will work with program partners such as Colorado Parks and Wildlife to offer an array of outdoor programming involving fishing, archery, camping, and as well as work with other partners such as Bicycle Colorado for biking programs. The coalition is really focusing on a train-the-trainer model in much of its programmatic opportunities to support local youth and community members in becoming experts in various outdoor activities. So congratulations to Inspire Lamar. The City of Denver's My Outdoor Colorado Coalition will receive $2.7 million in funding to serve youth and families from the Westwood neighborhood. The coalition worked diligently with youth and adult community connectors to talk with Westwood residents about barriers to the outdoors and preferred solutions. A hardworking youth advisory committee met bi-weekly from March to August, visiting local parks, evaluating local amenities, and designing new parks that better meet community needs. With half the grant, the coalition is investing in places to play from the backyard Westwood Park to the backcountry Genesee Mountain Park, which is located just 25 minutes outside the city core. The remainder will be dedicated to bringing the outdoors to life through meaningful programs and pathways to careers in the outdoors offered by partners including Denver Parks and Recreation, the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Denver, the Greenway Foundation, and Westwood Unidos. The coalition also aims to create pathways to careers in the outdoors through work with Volunteers for Outdoor Colorado, Groundwork Denver, and the Mile High Youth Corps. Congratulations to My Outdoor Denver. San Luis Valley Inspire will receive a $1 million grant. This coalition worked diligently over the last year to mobilize youth from 7 valley communities. They will put GOCO funding to work in Antonito, Creed, and Saguache. Funding will support the construction of the Antonito Outdoor Education Center, and Conejos Clean Water will work to activate the center and many other places in the valley through the Antonito Adventure Program. Additionally, investments will improve connections along Creed's Willow Creek corridor to be activated by work from the Headwaters Youth Conservation Corps. Finally, youth from Saguache will benefit from backyard to backcountry programming run by Alpine Achievers Initiative and pathway opportunities offered by the Saguache Youth Conservation Corps. Congratulations to San Luis Inspire. And last but certainly not least, the Nature Kids Coalition from Lafayette. Nature Kids will receive a $2.8 million grant to benefit youth from the 5 schools in the city of Lafayette that serve the lowest income children in all of the Boulder Valley School District. Nature Kids engaged more than 200 individuals of all ages to design their Inspire vision. Nearly 40 organizations led by Thorn Nature Experience will work together to take a scaffolded approach to providing a spectrum of outdoor experiences for youth from the backyard to the backcountry that will radiate out of the school district. The funding will help build a new community park at Sanchez Elementary, along with a trail to connect to nearby neighborhoods. Additionally, 82 environmental education, outdoor recreation, and pathway to employment programs will be used to connect youth to nature and the outdoors and pave the way for youth to build a career in the outdoor recreation and natural resource industry. Partners at the table include Calwood and many other partners who have been working with this coalition for quite some time. Congratulations to Nature Kids Coalition. So there you all are. The Youth and Outdoors movement is so lucky to have you all pioneers in this movement across the state and for the country. Each coalition's unique approach to the unique challenges of your own communities will serve as examples to other rural, urban, suburban, and mountain communities across not just Colorado, but the country. While this investment marks a milestone for the Inspire initiative, we know our work to connect Colorado kids to the outdoors is really just beginning. There are more than 15 additional coalitions waiting in the wings who are engaging local youth and their community members to prepare their Inspire vision and compete for at least $10 million in funding next October. Back at the GOCO office, we are working with Kaiser Permanente's Institute for Health Research to come up with an evaluation plan to help inform our work and refine strategy where needed. We are also working hard to raise additional funds to allow us to increase the impact of GOCO's $25 million investment in this work across the state. But today we're here to celebrate all of you and all the hard work you've put in the past year and all the hard work you're going to put into implementing over the next 3+ years. We're so thankful for your partnership and really look forward to working collaboratively to help move this movement forward here in Colorado. So please join me again in giving all the grant recipients and all of you who have helped inform this initiative. You all know how much you've given to this initiative to date. Thank you all for your hard work. Please join us in the lobby for refreshments and to learn more about these projects with all of us, and let's just have a good time together. So thank you.